And greetings and welcome to the QCast. This is season 5, episode 15. And every now and then there's an episode where I have to pull out the QCast fine print because people will be like, what? Like, what is he doing? Who is he talking to? What is he talking about? When I created the QCast, YouTube asked you for a little one sentence thing, 2 sentences, whatever.
Hmm.
Here's what I wrote: interviews with interesting people across many fronts, with a focus on Division 3 athletics. Vivian Kong-Doctora, my dear friend, are you from Division 3 athletics?
Maybe my past life, but no.
So there's D3 teams in Hong Kong. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Folks, we've got a doozy of an episode here. Let's just get this on the table right now. Is this episode is not going to be about Division 3 basketball, Division 3 football, Division
Oh,
3
thank God.
volleyball. Um, in fact, that was when I signed this guest. Her only requirement is that she said, "I don't want to talk. I can't talk about Division 3 athletics." Is it like you got nothing? Nothing?
No, my son is not here. Otherwise, he could probably chime in.
Folks, it's Vivian Kong-Doctora. There's a hyphen in there. It's a fancy name. She's a fancy person. My dear friend, we used to work together, creating
Yeah.
marketing hot takes at State Farm. A pretty
Hmm.
good duo, if I don't say if I do say so myself. Vivian, how are you doing? And did you ever think that we'd be doing some kind of sushi podcast?
Not at all. Because I thought I would probably retire at State Farm, and just be happy taking the pension. But that's not life have it in store for me. So no, not at all.
Yeah, in fact, like if someone told you like 10 years ago that we would be doing a podcast, not that we would even know what a podcast was, but what would you
Right.
think the topic would be? It probably wouldn't be sushi,
Oh,
right? What would it have been?
probably would be some sort of marketing, maybe fall planning, about
Well,
billboard advertising.
I know a lot of people would tune into a fall planning podcast,
Oh,
don't you
yes,
think?
yes, totally,
We could talk
totally.
about the budget dollars. We could talk
Yep.
about like how direct mail is still a viable tactic in
Yes.
2024. Well, Ed, the reason we're here, Vivian Kong-Doctora with the hyphen, is that you have been doing some super amazing things, including opening up a new sushi restaurant in Bloomington Normal. Bloomington Normal desperately needs cool stuff, cool restaurants. We're going to talk
For
about
real.
Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar in just a bit. But
Yeah.
why don't you kind of like get us up to speed here? So you leave State Farm 3 years ago. You got
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff going on. Talk about kind of what you're doing right now, Viv.
Sure. So, I spent 21 years at State Farm. I have no regret. I have a great career. I move around just in California and Virginia. At some point, I'm going to have to ask myself, is that what I want for the next 10, 15 years for my life? I was going to open a food hall. I know Dallas probably have one, Legacy Food Hall, something similar to that concept here in Bloomington Normal. COVID kind of might be changed a lot of those plans. It was going to be in Uptown Normal. The developer have decided that in August of 2021, they no longer want to pursue the idea. So when I opened Bao Destination in 2021 in July, my plan was, hey, I'm opening a food hall. If I never owned a food business, how would this independent food vendor trust me, rely on me to help them to be successful and survive in that food hall that I'm building? So I said, well, let's just do it because I'm about doing it, learning it versus just reading a book and watching a video about it.
Sure.
So I said, let's just go figuring out so that I can learn and I can give them advice. And that's what Bao Destination was born. At the time, there was a hotel in town. They have a ghost kitchen or a kitchen available. So I said, hey, I have this thing I want to do. Can I use your kitchen? Instead of investing a lot of upfront dollar to kind of build our kitchen, opening a storefront and not even knowing that it's going to work or not because they were still in the middle of a pandemic. So kind of sort of fate lead me to a lot of things, and we opened Bao Destination. It was going to be a pickup and delivery only, then no dining. I learned how to make handcrafted steam bun. So I thought I can sell those because there's none in Bloomington normal. So that's kind of how Bao Destination was born. And since then, I have pivoted the idea. I don't have a takeout and deliver service anymore. I now only focus on wholesaling. So I wholesale it to grocery store. Right now, my product is in Hy-Vee here in Bloomington, in Fresh Time, and
Wow.
also I partner with a local Chinese restaurant in town called Chi Family Express. They also have my product. So that will probably remain, even with the new restaurant open, a portion of the business will still be a wholesaling business.
In terms of just like the success of these operations, has everything been successful so far? Is this stuff starting to sustain itself from a just a business standpoint without getting into like, things we might talk about on Shark Tank or something? But
Yeah.
how are the businesses doing? And
The
what's your
business is doing,
margins?
yeah, the business is doing okay. The thing about Destination is the labor of love. It was meant to be, right? To kind of learn everything I could so that I can help other people to open their business. It was never supposed to be wholesaling. It was never supposed to be where I am today. But I think the universe probably have a different plan for me, which is completely okay. It is not a Shark Tank selling 1 million or $2 million business today, because it's all made by hand by me and maybe another staff person that I have. So the goal is one day I can sort of scale it, and that's why I opened this restaurant is kind of part of the path, so that I'm no longer working in the business, I'm working on the business. So with or without me, the business will still operate. So it is sustainable. I'm not owing people a lot of money, but I'm also not making a lot of money. But it's fine because at the end of the day, sometimes it's not about making a lot of money. It's the experience and the journey I was able to uh, learn from through this whole process of entrepreneurship. So
Well, you're not making a lot of money yet, but wait till this episode airs.
yes, wait till
You know,
sushi. It's
I
gonna blow up.
I don't know if you've watched the QCast, but there's a lot of hot takes that come out of this. There's a lot of
Oh,
influencing. Speaking of
okay.
influencers, did you watch the fight last night? Did you watch this Mike Tyson Jake Paul thing? Did you watch? Because it was buffering. I felt like it was like AOL dial up, 1996. Like, did you watch it?
I did because actually I didn't even know what was going on. My son was the one who keeps saying that we need to watch the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight. I'm like, who the hell is Jake Paul? But apparently my 12-year-olds know all about it. I sort of fell asleep on the couch, but when I woke up, I think they were in the third round, trying to fight each other. It was interesting, not as entertaining probably as a lot of people thought it would be. I think at the end there's some entertaining shot, I guess, of the back of Mike Tyson. But other
That
than
that
that,
was
I think
not. I didn't think that was entertaining at all. I don't know what kind of restaurant this is you're opening, Viv, but now this Jake Paul guy, what like obviously I know Mike Tyson because he's one of the
yeah,
guys I watched growing up, and in fact I was like,
yeah.
geez, when he lost to Buster Douglas, I know where I was. I was on campus at Illinois Wesleyan as a freshman, so
Oh, wow,
I felt
wow.
even older than I am. This Jake Paul guy, what is he's an influencer? That's his job.
According to my kids, he is a YouTube influencer. He's not a quote unquote trained boxer, I guess.
I don't,
No idea.
I hope I don't get called out as a prominent influencer. I hope I don't get called out to be in a fight.
To fight Mike Tyson.
I am not going to be in a fight. That's not going to go well for me. So anyway, I digress. I'm glad you watched the fight. I did too, and it was
Yeah.
difficult to watch for most of it. It was just kind of a little odd. So tell me about the decision here to open Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar. How does this? What's the idea here? What's like the business plan? And just walk us through this thing.
Um, I um I think Bao has kind of opened up my eyes to sort of different opportunity. I talked about earlier that Bao has been using other people's kitchens, so I don't have my own kitchen. But in order for me to build my own place, it's not a inexpensive things to do at all.
Sure.
People may think that is probably pretty easy, but it's not. It's require a lot of resources, a lot of money. It's not that I haven't tried. I have looked into actually opening a Bao Destination storefront with the kitchens and maybe sharing with other people. But it comes with a pretty hefty price tag that I have to sort of have to evaluate. Is it something that worth doing or not? Is a risk? Is it a risk that I'm willing to take? So somewhere along the line, again, universe kind of lead me to my business partner. It was just one phone call in a day. It wasn't even about opening a sushi restaurant. And from that on, it lead to other conversation. We start looking at spaces. And then the idea come around about wanting to open a revolving sushi restaurant, sushi on a conveyor belt. I said, "Oh, that's a great idea." I grew up in Hong Kong, so I used to see them around a lot. So I think that Bloomington Normal will welcome this concept. It's unique, it's different. We don't have anything like that here, so I think it would do really well. And that from that point on, we say, well, that maybe I can then bring Bao and give Bao sort of a permanent home
Sure.
because we already have a kitchen and I'm sharing a kitchen with someone else anyway. Why not just own the sushi and make Bao at the same time? That's kind of how we kind of come along or get the idea sort of form. My business partner today own Kobe Apache Steakhouse. It's like a hibachi grill
Yeah.
place
Yeah. Yeah.
already. They already offer sushi, so he has experience in serving sushi, saucing sushi, buying sushi, how to make sushi. So I don't need to know about all that. I just need to sort of be the idea, be this sort of administrator. Administrator is not the right word, but sort of from a business angle to kind of help put everything together. I'm also a realtor, so negotiate the commercial lease for the space. Kind of, I know a lot of people in town as well, so we're able to get people to help do architecture, construction, getting grant from the EDC. So I'm kind of like connector with the business to kind of get it up and running. I have a lot of experience that I learned from working in the steak farm. So I am writing all the SOP, standard operating
Oh man.
procedure. I know, getting all the operating procedure ready so that everyone is doing things consistently. And that's kind of where my strength come in to help the business so that it can continue to grow, it can sustain. While my business partner is focusing more on sort of the food side of thing, and he also has a lot of experiences in construction and all that, and the belt system. He basically just put it together with my other business partner. So yeah, so
I like it. And if this ever gets big enough, maybe we could get like a Sonia Wadowski and a Dane Larson and bring in some of the best marketing minds in the world, and we could continue to add elements of this leadership team. And I love
yeah,
that, like you said, like you're not like into the sushi making weeds. I don't know if you
yeah.
remember my kind
I
of,
don't want to be. Yeah,
yeah, my leadership style. I'm not an in the weeds guy. I like to throw
yeah,
you kind of a high level and
yep,
then let you roll
yep,
with that. So I love
yes,
your style, Viv. Um,
yeah,
so this, well, I love it because if I was making this marketing plan, it would basically be like, okay, Bloomington Normal, where do you go eat? You got Arby's, you got La Bamba, you got Burger King. You know, everyone loves Biaggi's. Obviously, we like Luca. You got Distill. There's that new
hmm
cool wine place downtown. I think I just listed all the good places. So I would say Bloomington needs another cool place. It certainly needs a
yeah.
sushi place. And here we are. Is that, I mean, that's probably not your business plan, but did you reference Arby's at all in the business plan?
Not at all.
Okay.
I think to me, besides producing quality food, it doesn't matter if it's in Bloomington or any other place in the city, people these days value experience more than probably the food in itself, right? Bloomington actually have a lot of foodies, and we actually have a lot of different food to offer. The problem is that we oversaturated one food group. Like we have so many taco places. We have a
Right.
lot of Indian food. We have a lot of Chinese food. But it's sometimes it's not just about just the food. It's just like my idea of opening a food hall. It's about creating an experience for people where they will keep coming back because the experience is bringing them back. in addition to the food. Obviously, you have to serve good food. Experience alone is not going to do it. But if you can get an experience to get people to come in, they will keep coming back because they want to experience over and over and over again. So,
And I will say, in all seriousness, I give Bloomington a lot of grief. It's my second home, right? I lived in Chicago for 17 years
right,
till I came to Illinois Wesleyan, and I lived in
right.
Bloomington. I think I lived in Bloomington 18 years after that. So like it might as well be home. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful place. And to your point, there are a lot of foodies in Bloomington. There are many more options than there used to be. We can say that,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Back when I was in college, I remember taking some dates to Bennigan's, and that I
Yeah,
thought
and
I
that was
thought
the
that was
highlight.
I thought that was strong. The mozzarella sticks, you think,
Yeah, or
but
Avantis.
of yeah, I mean, right. There weren't that many options. That you mentioned the experience, in all seriousness, the experience of Kobe. So talk about that more. How would you articulate what that experience is like and why people would want to come back?
Sushi on the conveyor belt. So essentially, you have plates and plate of sushi just keep rolling on a conveyor belt right in front of you, which you can see it visually. I'm sitting right here right
Can I
now.
ask, is it all kinds
It's
of sushi? Like, is it nigiri? Is it sashimi? Is it
Yes,
rolls? Is
there's
it like
all
all
kind.
of all
Yep,
of the above?
yep. You name it, we have it. And the idea is that you can just sit here and see the sushi pass by, and then you grab whatever you want. And then once you're done, you just put the plate on the plate slot, and then it will count how many plate that you have consumed for that day or whatever visit. And then the another thing is if you consume more than an X number of plate, 10, 15, or whatever we want decided, there actually is a surprise toy box on the top, and it will send a toy down to you. So the more you eat, the more prices is going to come down. So make it like super fun. So it's not just eating sushi; it's a ultimate dining experience, in my opinion.
And is there a bar there? Is there wine there? What's the alcohol
There
situation
will
there?
be alcohol. There is a boba tea station, not necessarily a bar. So if you just want to have like a boba tea, you can just come in and get boba tea and not even have sushi. But if you want to enjoy boba tea while you have sushi, you guys also have an option. We'll be serving beer and wine only. Won't be mixing any cocktail at this point. Another cool concept about the revolving sushi is you don't have to wait to order anything. So, like, say you only have about 30 minutes to have lunch, right? You can come right in, walk in, get a single seat, sit right in front of the bell, and then start eating. And then as soon as you're done, you count how many plate you have, pay your bills, you'll be in and out within 30 minutes. And you'll be full, happy, have a great experience. So that's the idea of it. You don't have to wait for someone to come take your order. You don't have to wait for anyone
Sure.
to serve you. You basically, it's a pretty self-service sufficient place.
And 1500 East Empire, I put that on the map earlier, and I was like, oh, so it's Veterans and Empire, essentially,
Yes,
right?
right across from the mall. Yep.
Is the GOP still there? Is the Garden of Paradise still there?
Yes, yes.
It
We're
is.
actually right behind the Garden of Paradise.
I
Yep,
got to be
I can
careful
see
because
them.
I don't know. I shouldn't be like mentioning Arby's and the Garden of Paradise because I might get sued. I don't know if podcasters can get sued. So I'm not going to say anything bad about the Garden of Paradise, but it is still there. Huh? It has survived the
Yes,
test
it's
of
right
time.
behind us. Yeah, they're actually really busy. Their parking lot are full throughout the day, so they're hopping.
I also got to tell you, I was talking to my wife about this, and we were
Yeah,
we were on our Saturday morning walk today. So a little 3 mile walk around the neighborhood. We were on Cobbler's Drive, and I
yeah.
say, she's like, "What? So what are you doing today?" I go, "I got to get a haircut." And I said, "And then I'm doing a sushi podcast."
Hmm.
She says, "What the hell do you know about a sushi podcast?" And I tell her, "Oh, Viv
Yeah,
and blah blah blah." And she goes, "Well, you need to tell her like how, because I legitimately really like sushi now." She goes, "You got to tell
yeah.
her the start of your sushi story." So I'll tell the short version. When Ro and I
Okay.
started dating, I go visit her in Tulsa, and she takes me to a sushi place. And at the
Uh-huh.
time, I'm just a South Side Chicago guy. I'm not going to eat sushi. So
Right.
she takes me to In the Raw in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we go to In the Raw, and she's like, just try some sushi. I'm like, no, that's gross. I'm not going to try it. So you know what I do? It's like kind of like a pouty kid or something. Like I not only don't get the sushi, I order a steak that's well done. That's a long story. I was going through a well done phase. That's another podcast we could talk about. I had an issue at Alexander's where you cook your own steak. I was drinking
Oh,
beer. I thought it was done. Anyway, so I got a well done steak at a sushi place in 2004, and that's the start of my sushi journey. And here we are today, and I legitimately really, really like sushi, which is why I thought it'd be fun to do this conversation because I think Bloomington's going to love your place, Viv. Do you feel
yeah.
energy about it? Do you feel like this is
I
going to catch
can,
momentum?
yes, yes. I've been posting a lot on social media. So I'm now the AKA marketing person. Until we kind of get up and running, have some sushi money, then I can probably farm it out for someone else to do it. But I've been sending a little bit teaser here and there. We actually, matter of fact, we were cleaning up here, and we have someone walk in and it was like, "Are you open?" We're like, "Oh, not yet." So people are hearing about it. I have people say that they're really excited and keep asking, "When are we going to open? When are we going to open?" So I know this this is going to be like I said, we don't have anything like that here in Bloomington. So it's going to be a place that everybody would want to check out.
And just as we start to wrap up a couple of things, and I'm going to leave you with final words for like any final stuff that we should tell people in terms of getting ready for the opening of Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar. But we like one thing that would help is when people see this, we'll put it on Facebook or whatever. And
Yeah.
if people would share the video link, you know, people that know you and are rooting for your success, if they would share that so other people see it, that would be great. Get the word going about this great new
Yeah.
place coming. So that to me, that's the main thing on my end is just like let's get the word out. Anything, Viv, that we didn't cover in terms of like getting ready for Kobe to open, things you want people to know before we close?
Um, I think it's even if you, I think sushi, the word sometimes scare people. I have talked to people and said, like your pre-sushi day, you're like, oh, I don't eat raw fish, oh, that's not for
That was
me.
me.
I would never really gonna come, but maybe I'll come and experience it in itself. The truth of the matter is that not everything is in raw. Not every sushi is raw. There's a lot of cook items options that we have offer in the restaurant. We do have ramen noodles. We have chicken fingers. French fries. We
That's
have
definitely not sushi. You can't
yes,
fool
that's
me.
right, not sushi. We have dumpling. We have dessert. The belt has two levels. So while the sushis are kind of rolling on the conveyor belt at the first level, other specialty items that I mentioned, like ramen noodles, chicken finger, or even bao, can be ordered from the tablet and will deliver straight to your table on this little cute little cart that we have or bus. Um, train situation. So it's go right to you, and then once you pick up the item, it goes straight back to the kitchen. So even if you're not a sushi lover or you think you don't like raw fish, not every single sushi made with raw fish, and that's not the only thing we also offer here as well. Even if you don't like sushi, I would recommend you to just come check it out and experience yourself because again, if you've never been to one, you kind of have to experience itself before you said that, ooh, that's not for me. So
And I would say the same thing. I say this again as an unsophisticated palate Southside Chicago guy. I even have a White Sox shirt on today. That's as bad as it
yeah,
gets, right? But like I never would have guessed that I that I would like sushi, and I really, really, really do. In fact, it's one of the most common kind of restaurants in Dallas. Ro and I will go to. So I
yeah,
would encourage people to try it. I think your place
yeah,
sounds really cool. The concept's great. From what I can see behind you, it looks like it's got a cool vibe. It looks really, really nice.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm rooting for you, Viv. You've been doing such great
Thank you.
stuff, and it takes so much courage and guts and smarts to do what you're doing. So just kudos to you, and I hope I wish you all the success. And I can't wait
Thank
to
you.
go to this place. The next time I'm in
Yes, when
town,
you,
I'm going to go to this
yeah,
place.
yeah, make sure you get like kind of plan ahead of time. And let me know ahead of time. I'll save you a special seat just for Bob Quillman.
I appreciate it. And I've got this buddy, Andy Hendricks, one of my best friends in the world. If we could get him to eat sushi, like maybe we could do like a Q cast a live on the scene.
Yeah,
If we could get him to
yeah,
eat sushi, I think that would be a big deal because he's not a sushi guy.
yeah. We can totally do it.
Yeah, he's not sophisticated whatsoever, this guy. He's a real simple
We're gonna
man.
do a little TikTok video of him like sitting in a sushi restaurant, eating revolving
Well,
sushi. So that will be fun.
look, as marketers, our heads are getting out in front of us right now. We need to
Yes,
focus on the opening. Um,
yes.
Folks, that is the QCast season 5, episode 15. My friend Vivian Kong-Doctora. She is a titan of industry, and she is opening Kobe Revolving Sushi Bar at 1500 East Empire in Bloomington soon. And we hope that you check it out. Vivian, it's been wonderful, and I look forward to very, very soon. That
Thank
next time
you.
I'm there, let's meet up at the restaurant. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun actually seeing you in the face or talking to you. It's been a while. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Viv.